Deadliest catch nearly fatal for Sig Hansen's brother. Sig Hansen's brother, Norman Hansen, works as the engineer on F/V Northwestern, and in Season 20 of Deadliest Catch, Dangerous Situations in the Bering Sea, bring a reminder that Norman nearly died a few years ago. Discovery Channel fans do see a bit of scripted drama, but the danger is very real. The captain of F/V Northwestern is known to be extremely competitive. However, he also knows that death is seldom far from the crabbing fisherman. Ahead of the new season on the Discovery Channel, he described that his biggest fear is the weather. At the time, he said that it was terrifying because sometimes a friend fishing close by can't be rescued. Deaths happen to people who filmed for the Discovery Channel. Todd Cochetin passed away after an 800-pound crab pot hit him. Others who died included Danny Matlock, Josh Paulus, and Blaine Steinmetz when their vessel sank. But for Sig Hansen, the near-fatal accident of Norman Hansen happened in port. Another death that Deadliest Catch fans heard about was former Northwestern deckhand Nick Mava. This month, the news revealed that the experienced fisherman passed away after experiencing a medical emergency. With that in mind, Coletta reminded viewers of the Discovery Channel about the near death of Norman Hansen in Season 15. Sig Hansen, the outlet recalled, was in his cabin while the vessel was docked when it happened. The article noted Norman endured a tragic slip and severely struck his head while the vessel was docked. However, the incident for Norman didn't end there. He laid on the deck unconscious, while Sig rushed to his side. The situation was immediately heightened when Norman began to have a seizure while the camera caught the action, with his skin changing color to a terrifying blue. Fortunately, Norman survived the terrifying ordeal. Additionally, as filming was in progress, it was a massive reminder to Deadliest Catch fans that the Discovery Channel show is about as real as it can get. In Season 20, fans already saw that a fire broke out aboard Keith Colburn's F/V Wizard. It wasn't a fatal incident for deckhand Tyler, as the crew raced to extinguish the flames. Some fans dissed the scene, claiming that it was fake. Perhaps viewers will never know for sure, but it highlighted just how dangerous crab fishing in the Bering Sea can be. What are your thoughts about Norman, the brother of Sig Hansen, nearly dying in an accident while the vessel was in port? Can you recall watching Season 15 when it happened? Sound off in the comments below, and remember to come back here for all your Deadliest Catch news. Deadliest Catch, nearly fatal for Sig Hansen's brother, Norman. The Bering Sea, with its frigid waters and brutal conditions, has long been one of the most perilous locations in the world for anyone daring enough to navigate its icy waters. For over a decade, the crew of the Deadliest Catch, a reality television show that follows crab fishermen in the unforgiving conditions of the Bering Sea, has captivated audiences with the intense dangers these men face on a daily basis. However, few incidents have left fans and crew members alike with such a sense of dread as when Sig Hansen's brother, Norman, faced a near-fatal accident during the 2016 crab season. Sig Hansen, the legendary captain of the Northwestern and one of the stars of Deadliest Catch, is known for his unwavering strength and leadership on the treacherous waters of the Bering Sea. His family has been part of the crab fishing business for generations, with Sig being a prominent figure in the world of commercial fishing. But in the unpredictable world of crab fishing, where every wave, gust of wind, and icy wave crash can present an imminent danger, no one is exempt from the perils of the job. Norman Hansen, Sig's younger brother, has been a vital member of the Northwestern crew for years. As a deckhand, Norman's role is to handle some of the most demanding and physically exhausting tasks aboard the vessel. His job requires him to work with the massive crab pots that can weigh over 700 pounds when fully loaded. These heavy crates are lowered into the sea to capture the crabs, then pulled back onto the boat with winches. The job is physically taxing and extremely dangerous, especially when combined with the freezing temperatures, high winds, and unpredictable waves of the Bering Sea. While the hazards of the job are well known, few were prepared for the dramatic turn of events that would change Norman's life in the blink of an eye. The incident hit was during the 2016 crab season that Norman Hansen found himself in the middle of an incident that would leave the crew in a state of shock and fear. The Northwestern was out in the frigid waters, working tirelessly to haul in crab pots, when Norman was struck by a moving part of the vessel's winch system. What seemed like an ordinary task quickly turned into a life-threatening emergency. Helping to pull in the heavy crab pots, as he had done countless times before. The cold, wet conditions combined with the heavy equipment can make such tasks even more challenging. And during this particular operation, Norman was positioned in a precarious spot. He was caught off guard when a part of the winch system, which is used to retrieve the crab pots from the ocean, came loose and struck him with tremendous force. The impact was immediate and severe. In an instant, Norman was thrown to the deck, and his leg was pinned underneath the massive metal machinery. The force of the collision left Norman struggling to breathe and unable to free himself from the entangled equipment. The crew, realizing the gravity of the situation, immediately sprang into action. It was a race against time to ensure Norman's survival in the harshest environment possible. The crew knew they had only minutes before the situation would escalate into something even worse. Sig Hansen, who was at the helm, was forced to make a split-second decision on how to navigate the perilous conditions to get Norman the medical attention he desperately needed. Despite his fear, Sig remained calm under pressure, signaling for the crew to act quickly. Deckhand Jake Anderson, another prominent member of the Northwestern crew, was the first to rush to Norman's side. With the help of the rest of the crew, they managed to release Norman from the winch system and assess the damage. It was clear that the injury was severe, with his leg badly hurt, but the immediate danger was far from over. The injury was not the only thing that had to be dealt with in the wake of the incident. Norman's heart rate was elevated, and he was in a state of shock. The freezing temperatures of the Bering Sea meant that time was critical. Any delay could result in hypothermia, blood loss, or worse. The crew quickly stabilized him as best as they could, wrapping him in blankets and trying to keep him warm, all while navigating the rocky waters that made it hard to maintain a steady course. Rescue and recovery, fortunately, due to the crew's quick thinking, they were able to radio for emergency medical help. A nearby vessel, the Time Bandit, was able to respond quickly and provide some initial assistance. But getting Norman to a medical facility remained a harrowing challenge. With the sea conditions worsening by the minute, the crew of the Northwestern made the difficult decision to attempt a transfer. In what can only be described as a stroke of luck, the transfer was successful, and Norman was airlifted by a Coast Guard helicopter from the Time Bandit to safety. Despite the severity of his injuries, Norman was alive, a miracle in the face of such a terrifying accident. The incident had a profound impact on both Norman and his family. While the physical recovery from his injury would take months, the mental toll was much more complicated. The Hansen family had faced countless close calls on the Bering Sea over the years, but this incident hit close to home. Sig, who had always prided himself on his leadership and ability to protect his crew, was shaken by the near-fatal accident that nearly took his brother from him. The aftermath after the accident, the Deadliest catch crew and fans alike were left with a sense of relief that Norman had survived. However, the event brought to light the dangers of crab fishing in ways that many hadn't fully grasped before. Though the show had always emphasized the risks of the job, Seeing one of the Hansen brothers face such a close call served as a sobering reminder that no one is invincible in the unforgiving waters of the Bering Sea. For Norman, the path to recovery was long. He had to undergo multiple surgeries to repair the damage to his leg and was forced to take a step back from his duties on the Northwestern. His return to the ship would not be immediate, and during his recovery, his absence was deeply felt by the crew. The bond between the Hansen brothers had been tested in ways that no one could have predicted, but it also reaffirmed their unbreakable commitment to one another. As for Sig, the experience was a reminder of the fragile nature of life on the high seas. For all his years of experience, nothing could have prepared him for the emotional weight of seeing his brother in such peril. The two had always shared a close bond, and this incident brought them even closer. Conclusion: Norman's near-fatal accident aboard the Northwestern was one of the most frightening moments in Deadliest catch history. It showcased the dangers that come with working on the Bering Sea, a world where one wrong move can result in life-changing consequences. Fortunately, thanks to the quick actions of the crew and the expertise of emergency responders, Norman survived. His recovery has been a long and challenging road, but his resilience and the support of his family and fellow fishermen have allowed him to return to the waters he loves. The Hansen families.